So very easy for the rack to come a little loose without, Lance knowing it. And those balls stayed pretty congested around the rack, and it was a real flush hit on the head ball. So all right, so it looks like stripes. May have to take a chance here. May have to take a chance, shoot the 11, and come right into the 13-10. And the only reason I say that is it's kind of hard to get position. I mean, he could come around for the 15, I guess, but then you're trying to play a pretty delicate rack. I like going in and trying to open these myself. Yeah. I would have maybe tried to get into him a little heavier, but now the one thing he can do, if he can hit the gap on the 14, he can reopen the balls again. Because the 9's up in that mix too, so. And that's what he's looking at now, to be able to cut the 14 and go into the balls. The 10 does go by the 6, so that makes you feel a little better about that next shot. He's got to make a nice cut shot on the 14, but it's a very natural way to open these balls. Just go right up into the 9. Could even catch the 8 a little bit. And the thing is, the cut shot itself produces a lot of speed on the cue ball, so opening those balls isn't a problem. You really don't have to overhit this shot. Just straight top, maybe a hair of inside, that being right English. Oh, you overcut it. Got the opening you wanted. And I do agree with the shot, totally.
Brings Lance Schofield back to the table, trailing by 1 game in this race to 7. Again, we are aware of the internet issues. Unfortunately, that is likely to be the case throughout this match, potentially even into the final match. Running into some issues with the local internet.
Yeah, it's just
issues that are not going to be resolved, unfortunately. So if you're frustrated, you may want to find something else to do on this Sunday afternoon. I would hate to drive viewers away, but just know that it's likely to continue. Our option is to just keep pushing through it or pull the plug completely. So we're going to keep pushing through it for those of you that have some patience. And for those of you that don't, you might want to find something else to watch for a while, because this is likely going to continue.
Yeah, it's a pretty fickle deal. I don't know much about it, but been here, this 3rd year. In the first 2 years, everything was perfect, right? So it just doesn't take much with those technical things.
Into this morning, I mean, it was fine, and then all of a sudden, and for whatever reason, the local upload speed is not so good at the moment. No idea why. I know there's a lot of folks over in Daytona today. I don't know. Can't imagine that's causing the issues, although it's caused a shortage of hotels across the state for some reason. So maybe, I really don't know, but we've had the internet guy out here, and they've told us this is going to be something we contend with all day. So
all right, the way he's acting, I'm just kind of assuming maybe the 5 doesn't go. The good thing for him is he can play a very easy safety if he wants to open the 5. I may not even make the 3 right here and then play the safety. I might play the safety first. You'll notice really no pocketable stripes from up the table at all. So the 9 doesn't pass the 4, the 13 can't really cut the 10 or the 13 anywhere. So is he going to bang this around and try and hold the cue ball behind the 2? Okay, just rolled it. Smart shot. Now Jacob does have the side rail right before the side pocket. He should make a good hit here. It's just a matter of what's going to happen. Hard to keep Lance off a shot with the 5 over the pocket, the 4 over the pocket, and the 7 pretty shootable. Okay, this is a pretty smart kick to try and win with. There's easier kicks to hit a stripe, but he's trying to hit the 10 right here. That way he may get some kind of safety. If he hits the 14, it might be all right too. He's not going to get a rail though. He did kind of tie the one ball up though. So
gives ball in hand to Lance Schofield.
yeah, and Lance can take a little chance shooting the 4. I don't think the 1-4. The first camera view we had a moment ago, I thought showed us that the 1-4 doesn't really play. Now he can shoot the 7 and go into the 1-4, 14. I kind of just like shooting the 4 and going into it firm. You're going to shake the 1 loose. You have the 5 over the pocket. Really impossible to not get a shot. And this way here, I don't think he has a problem. You should feel it pretty well to go right into that first stripe and just bump the 1 open. Oh, he hit it hard. He hit it hard, and when you hit it hard, balls could tie up. The 14, fortunately, didn't get on top of the 4 too much. Okay. This is still touchy here. Because the 1 has pockets, but you know, nothing easy. I think, I don't know. I'm a little worried about this 1 ball. I may use the 5 right now to come 1, 2, 3 rails, and I'll show you off the 5. Just kind of come 1, 2, 3 rails to the back of the 1, trying to produce the 1 now. And then, you know, if you don't get exactly right, you still have the 4 ball hanging, right? So I think he's going to do that in the next shot. Okay. So shooting the 4 after the 5. And the reason why I'm a little worried is you got to have a touchy speed going from the 4 to the 1. You know, you got to be pretty on point, and not only to get on the 1, but to get on the 8 after. So there's a lot more work left in this rack. This is surprising. This is surprising. Now he's going to get a little fortunate to hit that gap right there, but he tried to get on the 1 right there, and that was super dangerous. I thought it was anyways. Tell you what I would do here is I would just probably shoot the 4 and just kind of come 1 rail up into this area and take the shot on the 1. That slides you over for the 8 pretty easily. He's taking on the bank. Is he snookered on the 4? I thought he can see the 4. Oh, sweet shot. That's for sure. Still not out of the woods on the 8 ball though. Trying to see where I go. I don't think it cuts by the 10. That's the problem. And the 14's in the way to move easily in for the side pocket. So he's still got a lot of issues here. May end up having to bank the 8 just depending on where he gets. Now this is another one of those situations, you know, you want to make sure you get a shot at the 8, so you don't want to do anything crazy. Okay. So Jason, you bank it, you cut it. Which one? Oh, he's banking it. Probably hits it a little above medium. Doesn't want to baby this too much. And cut it just a touch.
So we'll see Jacob Watson back at the table.
Yeah, and here, you roll this ball in. You come across and you try to get on the ball on the side. If you don't, you got the 14. I'd like to just come over for the 9 in the side, or one of those balls in the side. Ooh, careful with the speed. That's good. And got straight, I guess, because really it doesn't have a working angle on the 9, or else he'd easily get on the 13, I think. Well, taking the shot in the corner.
Well, he's playing with a lot of confidence. I remember when he first came in a few years ago, and you immediately took notice. He was the guy that the people were paying attention to, but he's upped his game this year. Again, he has now secured at least a top 3 finish, but he's determined to try to move to that championship round.
And I like that shot. He looked at trying to move the cue ball, but no reason to force it, maybe miss the 9 on. It's just too skilled of a player. He can deal with this 14 a lot of ways.
Eight in the corner for Jacob and a 2-0 lead in this race to 7. While we've got a moment, going to hear a word from our friends at pooldog.com. Lance Schofield finishing up this 8-ball rack, 3rd game of the 8-ball set. Jacob Watson waiting patiently to break, looking to extend his lead here. If you're just joining us, you're watching the semifinal round of this year's U.S. Amateur Championship at Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida. We've had some internet issues today, so we're hopeful that they won't continue to reoccur, although we've been told don't be surprised if they do. So again, hopefully you've got a little patience and you can stay tuned. We're going to keep pushing through as best we can.
All right,
The
little
8-ball
8-ball movement.
Yeah.
And he's gotten two solids down and a real ugly pink 4-ball that's pretty tied up. Maybe it goes all the way up. It's real close. Now the one good thing he can do, it's a little touchy going rail first on the 2-7 and maybe swinging the cue ball 2 rails into the 4, but because what are you going to guarantee you get a shot on next? I think that's what he's doing, but got to put some little speed on this. Not a ton, but This is a little bit of gambling, but he's in a spot. Yeah, he meant to get underneath the 11. Yeah, and Jacob's a pretty smart player. Not only has he cut off a shot, but he realizes he's got to reposition some balls now. Can maybe go up table with the cue ball somewhere. That's not too terrible. Bank the 2 over by the 4 maybe and go up a little behind the 15 maybe. I don't know. Something like that.
You're still up?
Yeah, this is the shot I like, and he might bury him behind the 6. How sweet would this be? Wow, good effort. But I like him repositioning the 2. That ball's going to help things. I guess you got to be careful if he's rolling on top of this 13 right here. Okay, nice hit. Now Jacob, even though he can see the 6, he may still kick to the side rail, trying to play a little bit of a mild safety on this shot. I don't want to let him see the 9 right here myself, if I can maybe help it. All right, he got that ball up, which helps. Going to get a rail. This is going to hurt. Yeah. Don't think the 2-4. Well, no, he can shoot the 2 in the lower left-hand corner. That's what I would look at. I think he can shoot it. I think he has enough 2 ball to shoot it in the lower left. Yeah, there you go, and open the balls. Still got a lot of issues, but now the thing is he's worried about being able to open it very well, but the problem also is the 1. The 1 ball's a big issue. But, unless you expect Lance to make a mistake or 2 still, but I think you may have to try and go aggressive here somehow. Now, he could try to stick him up a little bit, but don't think you're going to keep Lance. You're not going to get ball in hand, I don't think. Now Lance has got to be careful. If he just edges the 11, okay, he can just edge it and put him back on the 11. I might ticky off the 1 right here and try and put him underneath the 9. I know that's his stripe that's near. I don't think this combo's makeable. Yeah, I mean, the 1's not really blocking much as far as like protection, kind of slowing Lance down a little bit in a sense. So I might take a chance of opening it a little bit and trying to put him underneath the 9 or somewhat underneath the 9 maybe. Of course, Lance may stick you up on the 9 if you get him too close to it. Just don't see this combo going, and maybe he's just trying to open it and play a little mild safety. Pretty smart, trying to cover up the 2. We talked about it the last few days. Anytime you feel like you're behind, got to try and lengthen the game, right?
Draw it out.
It's a pretty smart shot, really trying to. I know it's only 1 ball he covered up with the 11, and there's some stripes there near that Lance can use to get at that 11, but really Jacob doing all he can do. Oh, he caught a 12 ball and maybe lost the cue ball. Oof, man. Well, that's going to hurt things a lot on Lance's side.
Lance is out of Rogers, Arkansas.
I'm not sure where that's at. I kind of feel like it's around Little Rock, but now he can shoot the 11-2 in and just, I don't know if he can roll past the 4 doing it. You know, just kind of like, you know, take away one of his opponent's balls. That usually helps. But you can't give up a shot on the 4 doing so. Like playing a safety. I think I put some pressure on him here maybe. Maybe I just barely fan the left side of the 1 and just drop him on the bottom rail there. Make him come with a long 12 or 10 ball, really. You could bank the 1 cross corner. That's not a terrible shot either, to be honest with you, and that means try and bank it in by the 9. Yeah, that's a good shot, trying to cover it up if he misses. But he's got the 1 open, and really now those other stripes are positioned the way they are. Now, Lance is at the table, so that helps Lance, of course. But now Jacobs put a lot of heat on Lance. If he makes a mistake from here, he can get out. So he wants to kind of pull into those balls, meaning cut the 10 and kind of reopen the 13 and 11, hopefully. He's a little too stretched, I guess.
Grabbing that bridge from under the table.
Yeah,
a little extra length.
Yeah. Only reason he's shooting this is he wants to dig on this cue ball, I think, and get into the 13-11 is what I would imagine, anyways. No? So he must have a plan. Maybe he feels like he can shoot the 11, you know, into this rail, off the 2, and then into the corner. That may open up position for the 13 as well. One thing, if you don't have a plan for those 2 trouble balls, you don't want to keep making balls, that's for sure. Kind of paint yourself into a corner. Well, now he's drawing the ball a little heavy. I still think this is maybe the shot here. The 11 off the rail, off the 2 into the corner. Now when he shoots that, I don't know if that'll open up the 13 or if he needs to go into the 13 also, like with a high ball here when he shoots this shot. Looks like pretty makeable to me, though. He missed the 2, so that's going to hurt. So now Jacob in a great spot, cuts the 4, shoots the 2, has the 1 to get on the 6, and the 8 near. And we really haven't seen, you know, I would say not that much of clusters on the 8 ball, you know, after the first day, I think it was. Yesterday, it seemed like the balls were opening nice. We saw a lot of runs. Just how 8 ball is sometimes. These are the last 3 players and the guys who have played the best here so far. Now, he can either roll this or maybe put a little bit of right English on it to maybe hit the 1 a little heavier.
And a 3-0 lead for Jacob Watson in this race to 7. He'll have the break once again. The 4th game of the 5-game 8-ball set.
And the break has just been tough so far in this match. So we've seen both guys come to the table a couple times each game. Jacob's made balls just really kind of impossible to run out the way the balls laid anyways. Great connection on the rack right there. Cue ball got to the end rail. I don't know. He's just made a stripe, I think, and I don't know if he has a shot at a stripe. Now the good thing is he can feather the 10 and lay him right on the back of the 10 for a pretty good safety when it comes to 8-ball anyways. Yeah, I think that's all he has, really. Yeah, I wouldn't come back. I thought he could just shave the 10 and go to the rail and put him back on the back of the 10. I'm not sure what he's looking at here. Oh, the ball on the side, okay. The 13 in the side, that's the shot he's looking at. Tough shot. I know it's a small angle, but still the type of shot I make more often when I don't hit it too easy. I just kind of commit to the stroke a little bit more, like a nice medium speed.
Thought you might want to know Mrs. Jones is tuning in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she watches a lot of pool. She plays as well. She even commented yesterday that watching is making her want to play.
Nice.
Yeah, she's tough. She's an athlete. You ought to see her throw the football or the baseball. Pretty good.
Lance still trying to get on the board here in this semifinal match. Been a little bit of a tough go.
Yeah, and he's had a few opportunities slip away, so he's got to leave those behind. And it's amazing, you get one on the board, you get going, that 3-0 lead. He can make that up.
Well, the way we've seen Jacob play since early this morning, I wouldn't want him getting too far ahead of me. He's going to be tough to track down.
Yeah, and we've seen some comebacks, of course, here today with all those hill matches. But for the most part, those leads have held up this week. They really have meant something. Okay, he's got a lot of work. I think the one plays, maybe. Ooh, maybe not. Ooh, that's touchy. So he would have liked to have gotten on the 6, it looks like, to roll forward on the 7 and then be able to come up and bump the 115 away, probably the 15, and then have the 4 and all that. That would open up the 1 easily. Now I don't know. If you get long distance on the 7 to do that same thing I'm talking about, you could easily miss the 7. So the 6 ball, he's going away from it a little bit. He's going to try and ease it in. But this is definitely a missable ball if he's trying to bring the cue ball out into the edge of the 15, I believe. Now, the thing is here, because I don't think he'll hit it 100 miles an hour, but he could get jacked up here and only have a straight-in shot on the 4. That would be ugly and really hard to move the cue ball. We'll see what comes about. I'd like to hit the 15 only myself. And I kind of feared that miss just because, long distance, not much angle. Kind of felt like it was possible. And not just, for Lance, for just about anybody. All right, Jacob, who's really been pretty solid, not doing anything crazy. Played pretty smart, mild safeties, like another one here, chipping the 9, dropping to the end rail. I think, anyways. Not sure what he's looking at. I wouldn't want to move many balls from that side. You need balls to get at that 10. You don't want to move them further down table. I'd like to chip the 9 just a little bit myself. This is okay too. Get to the end rail with the cue ball. And he wants to go down a little further. And you don't mind him seeing the 1, because if he shoots the 1 in, he really can't do anything on the 7. I'd rather got to the end rail, and I think that's where Jacob was trying to get. Nice shot there. How sweet was that hit? A little unlucky to get jacked up and no shot on the 3. He can cut the 1, but can he go back and forth to get position on the 7? That would be one heck of a shot. So he's going to try and go back and forth to get a cut shot on the 7 in the opposite corner. And it's got to go a bit. Yeah, now he's almost forced to take the cut shot on. No, he got there. That's okay. I don't think he catches the 10. I think he comes 2 rails between the 11, 13, back up for the 3. If he hits it well. Well, it's going to be a little heavy, so he's going to be a little long distance on the 3. But I'll tell you what, this might be the out that's waking Lance Schofield up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He's sure made a nice couple cut shots here. 3 of them, as a matter of fact. The ball down the rail, the 1 to go 2 rails back and forth, and now he's got to make another nice shot on the 3 just to get on the 8. Well, this may be a little bit of a roll. Well, nothing easy. Seems to have woke up, though, hitting the ball much more authority and real crisp. I think if he gets this one down, we're looking at another really close match. Super nice shot. Incredible out.
Runs that 8 all the way down in the corner pocket. Lance Schofield finally on the board with his first game. Now trails by just 2 to Jacob Watson in what will be the final game of the 8-ball set coming up here. Jacob will prepare the rack. Lance will have the break. Again, this is the semifinal round of the U.S. Amateur Championship. The winner here will square off in a single elimination race to 11 against Ernesto Baiawa for the U.S. Amateur Championship. The loser here will finish in 3rd place in this year's event. Ernesto just hanging back, waiting for an opponent. I was looking over some of the notes. Looks like Lance is originally from Wisconsin. A lot of pool played up in Wisconsin. Moved to Arkansas for college, and looks like that's where he's made his home. But it's got some folks tuning in from Wisconsin, rooting him on.
All right, watch the cue ball getting below the rack again, like that.
Got that 8 moving.
Yeah, But I don't understand the
Another
second ball
scratch.
break. Yeah, well, the second ball break when you pull the cue ball out, right? Well, the head ball's covering up the second ball a little bit, right? So the more you pull it out, you're hitting the second ball thinner.
Yeah, we've
And
seen a few
yeah,
scratches on the break from him, haven't we?
yeah, and it's the same pocket both
Yeah.
times. So I think if he's going to continue on the second ball break, you want to pull it, to a comfortable place on the side rail. That way you can hit as much of the second ball as possible. And really, when you're hitting it well, you come back into the rack. You really don't fall below it. All right. I wouldn't take any kind of tight one myself. This 13, okay, shooting a 3. That makes sense. I was going to say, ain't no way I would take on a missable ball like the 13. Okay. He's going to want to get on that 7 as quick as possible. Does the 2 go up in the corner? That would help in between the 8 and 1.
Jacob here is out of Tyler, Texas.
That's my middle name, Tyler.
Jeremy Tyler Jones, huh?
That's right.
JTJ. I would have thought it was like James, Jeremy James Jones. Triple J? Too
No,
many J's.
my parents had a little argument. One of them wanted Tyler and the other one wanted Jeremy. And, well, you know who won
That's
that
how
one.
they said it. Huh?
So, yeah, 6 of us. All the boys are J's and all the
Ooh.
girls are D's. I don't know how that worked out, but I'm number 5, so all that started long before I came along.
Yeah.
Okay, again, it's the 7, right? A little thin on the 5. I know the 2 might be tight, but it seems like it almost has to be the shot to me. It looks like, the way he's looking at it, it's a missable ball, but it's really the one that wins the game, I think. Oh, he squeezed it home. And now he's a little elevated, and can he get across for the 5? Whew, this is going to be tough. Top inside, not easy. It is doable. He could stun across. He is close to it, but that 12 ball is really kind of making things tough. He's going to stun, I think. I think that's the right shot. Just trying to come straight across. He's got enough angle. He's got really a pretty powerful stroke when he needs it. Well, he came for the 1. And that's pretty smart. If he didn't feel like he could get there, like I said, you got to be able to change plans. So now a little low left English to come 1 row back for the 5. Good thing is he can shoot the 8. He's still got to get on the 4, though, of course, but he's going to get on the 4 now. Almost forgot about that pink 4 up there, Jason.
Kind of blends into the rail there.
Yeah.
The light on it, doesn't it?
And I got to concentrating on how he was going to get at that 5 as well. And now he's in a good spot. Little light stun. This kind of shot here, don't let up. Don't let that little draw come off the ball. And that's exactly what happened. A little bit, yeah. Very common, but what happens when you let up a little bit on the downswing, your tip rises a little bit, and you don't quite get the draw on the ball like you expected, and you just miss the path of the cue ball a little bit. Just got to go for this. Yeah, he knows that he's in big trouble for game number 5 now. Put the 5 on the back rail, so really not a lot of pressure on Lance. Even if he misses, probably doesn't give up a shot. Unless he shoots something down here now. I'd probably take on the 15 here myself. Mine's okay.
Nine in the side pocket there.
And that was a little heavier than I thought. Not much of a cut at all.
Ten in the corner.
12 on the side, 15. You can see the 13 and 11. They'll get picked off here in a moment. And a huge game, really. I mean, 4-1, 3-2. You can tell easily the difference in the complexion between those scores.
This is the last game of the 8-ball set, so they'll move into 9-ball from here. Always good to have the break as they move into the 9-ball set with the winter break format.
Absolutely, especially trailing. That's another thing I forgot. If Jacob gets out right there, doesn't get snookered, he's up 4-1 and breaking. So, and really made I don't know how many games of the 9-ball he's lost today, but it hadn't been many. Made that comeback earlier, and mostly in the 9-ball.
Yep.
Then won pretty handily in his next set. So
looks like Lance will finish out this final game of the 8-ball set and draw within one game of Jacob Watson. Pocket set 8 without an issue. Pull a few balls off the table here.
yeah, the 9s had some movement today on this table. It's amazing how that can change from day to day so easily, it seems.
Don't see Ernesto Bayao at the moment. I would expect he'd start hitting some balls here at some point during this match. But I don't see him currently.
Yeah, I talked to him after his first match. He won Hill Thriller. Said he needed a little something to eat. Said he didn't want to eat much, so he just nibbled a little bit, got through that next match, another Hill match. And he said he was going to go get a little more something to eat for that race to 11. Not a whole lot, but a little half a sandwich maybe or something.
There is an art to the time off for the hot seat winner, right? Making sure you're
absolutely
fresh enough to be ready for that match. And sometimes it takes a while. I mean, this match, I don't know what time we got started, but you know, it's going to be a longer. This is going to be a longer match here.
Yeah.
Don't want to get cold, so to speak.
Those first 3 games of 8-ball, there were so many clusters. You know, it was a match where they exchanged many innings. I tell you, you might make them both here if he wants to hit this with a little top and outside English. He may have to do it opposite-handed, but he might make the 2 and the 9. This may cut right in the 9-ball. Kind of almost hard not to shoot at it, to be honest with you, the way it sits. Ooh, behind the back, huh? So lefty must not be very good if he's going behind the back. Watch out, 9-ball. Won't slow roll this, I don't think. Oh, hung them both.
Didn't get either, yeah.
Yeah, and really, I don't know. The 5 looks like a big ball as far as cutting Jacob off. Maybe he can get to the low rail. I don't know. This is tough, I think. And now the first rack of the 9-ball has some clusters with the 6-9 and the 4's a little funny on the bottom rail. The 3's up the table, so. And he's dead snookered here, it looks like. It's a hard swerve when you have to go so far down the table around the 5. You know, if the 5's closer to the cue ball, it's easier to judge the swerve. But when it's so far away, a lot harder. Great shot. Really nice shot, Jacob. And he's going to get long and straight, but he does have a nice straight end to fall forward for the 5. Or excuse me, for the 4. if a 6-9 kiss shot is on. Like if he gets straight on the 5 here in a couple shots, if he can make the carom shot on the 9 to win the game. I think it's close. Yeah, that tells me it's close right there. That's a good camera angle. That just shave off the 6 and with a little right English and try and make the 9. Now he's looking at breaking it out with the 4. I don't like that. I would rather break it out, if I'm going to break it out, with the 5 whenever I'm shooting the 5 ball. They both make a little bit of sense, that's for sure. Like most would say, man, I'm perfect right here to go into him. Oh. And that's because he was trying to break out the 6-9.
Haven't seen a lot of mistakes this afternoon from Jacob. Lance is going to look to capitalize on that one, though.
Yeah, he's pretty thin from about 9 feet away almost, so it's kind of tough to judge the speed coming up and down the table. Oh, nice shot there. He's going to get a little further away, but not too bad. So he's going to have to turn it loose a little bit here with a hair of a draw stroke. Might make the 5 and the 9, actually. It's sitting pretty good, really. He can actually break them out with a high ball. The only thing I would be concerned about with a high ball is if the cue ball wants to run somewhere up the table. So I like the draw here. Is the 6 going to bounce enough? It is. Well, these guys are having to come with tough shots, I'll tell you that. I don't think the side pocket's an option for the 6 myself. Well, sweet shot there. He's going to have to show us another one with a big draw stroke here, you know, and now you decide. He's been pretty smart with this kind of thing. Hey, do I draw back past the 9? No, I can draw back to where the cue ball's at now and still have a decent shot at the 8. If I try to come all the way back, not only might I get snookered, but I might miss the 7 doing so. Watch out. Watch out, corner pocket. What a draw stroke that was. And he doesn't have much angle here. This is the type of shot that most would rattle if you really try to get something on the cue ball. And I mean, a lot of top pros at this little small angle right here, very easy to make the 8 ball bobble if you're trying to get above the 9. I think I banked the 9 cross side here, Jason. I'd hate to never get the shot at the 9 here by trying to do a little too much. Oh, he hit it sweet. Now, he didn't try to get above it, which was smart. He didn't add side spin. That's really what makes the ball miss a lot of times, trying to add that left English.
Rolls that 9 ball into the side pocket, ties this match up at 3 games apiece. Jacob Watson opened up a 3-0 lead. Lance Schofield has come storming back to tie this match up. This is a race to 7. You're watching the U.S. Amateur Championship. We are at Strokers, Palm Harbor, Florida, part of the Tampa metro area. Been a great week here in Florida for us. We've already crowned our women's U.S. Amateur Champion, and this afternoon we will crown the Open Division. It's either going to be Jacob Watson, Lance Schofield, or Ernesto Bayawa, who is waiting to find his opponent in the final match. Lance Schofield with the break here.
Oh, man, cue ball's getting kissed all over. Watch out, 5-ball. It's amazing that last ball rolling. Ooh, does he have a sliver of the 1 to get out a kiss shot on the 9? Ooh, I think he does, maybe. Maybe not. If he doesn't, he might be jumping this 1 in, but he's going to look to see if he just has a little piece of that 1 ball. And tell you what, if he does, it's not a tough kiss shot at all, so I'm kind of thinking he's hooked. Hard to roll out besides rolling out to a jump. Maybe roll out a little closer to the 5, something like that.
I think we're about an hour into this match. A lot on the line here for these two. Our championship match will be a race to 11. And that will be single elimination, the extended race.
Mm-hmm. I like that format, the extended race myself. I don't know
See
what he's doing
Ernesto
here.
back there now watching, I think. I think I saw him in the stool back on the other side, taking in this match.
No, he called rollout. He knows he's not going to get this back. Now here, I'd probably just keep it simple and push the 1 past the 2 and just lay them both on this left side rail. It doesn't look like you can get behind the 2 with the cue ball for the easy kick. Might leave a jump, we'll see. I think that's probably what's going to happen.
Lance grabs that jump cue. This is our 4th round of the day.
Yeah, if he makes a good hit here. Yeah, he gets on with it, especially that first round, right? All hill.
Yeah.
That was crazy. If he hits it, he lands on top of it pretty much. Kind of draws the ball. Now he got up and down quickly. Cue ball went forward. That 1's going to get safe as well. I don't know if the cue ball got to a rail or not. Don't feel like it did, but yeah, both guys really weren't paying attention to the cue ball, so they just decided, and it could have hit that rail easily and just slid along it. But hard to call foul without either really on top of it. I know Jacob, if he knew he didn't get a rail, he certainly would give up ball in hand.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like Lance, a good guy, really not going to call foul without definitely knowing. Tough shot here. Okay, there is a 1-4 combo. Tough one, though. We'll see if how Jacob's feeling. It's the type of shot, I mean, you feel good about because it's a pretty full hit. You're just hitting a high ball. Shape's automatic. Yeah, nice shot. A lot of people pass on those combos, and I understand, but those types there, you really need to learn to be confident in. You can separate yourself a lot of times instead of playing the safety and your opponent kicks out of it. Now Jacob's in a spot. He might put a few racks together after making a nice shot. I don't know if he can get on the 3 in the side. The 3 does go by the 8. So he can just come one rail out. Now he's looking to see if I can cut it from a few places. And that's, really if you can get on the 3 in the side, I kind of like that. As long as you're avoiding the 8 when you go 3 rails, he's okay. Table's getting a little springy though, Jason. A little more broke in. The weather's perfect outside though, so I wouldn't say it's from humidity at all.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe those guys, their sweat glands are going a little bit, right, with the hands and stuff.
Oh, I'm sure. So much at stake here in this match. So much at stake.
That looks like really nice speed because he wants to get a little heavy on the 5. That way, easy position on the 6. So he should keep his lead. He surrendered it in the last game.
Somebody was asking if you have to be an APA member. You do not have to be a member to play in the U.S. Amateur Championship. I do believe you get a discount on your entry fee, which makes it worthwhile to be a member, but technically not required since we don't use any handicapping here.
Right. I want a little more bounce than that, I think. You didn't want to be over the 9. I'd much rather have a little more angle on the 8 and have to work the cue ball maybe a rail or 2, but then be over this and having to draw this ball back. Should be okay, though. Kind of simplified the shot.
Chance for Jacob to regain the lead. Right the ship a little bit. Been a few games for him. Pockets that 9 ball, now leading 4-3 in this race to 7. Another tight match, as we should have probably expected, Jeremy. It's been that way all day. Just when you think somebody's going to run away with a match, the guy comes battling back, and ultimately it's left us with a lot of hill matches today. Yeah,
and I think 3-0 is the biggest lead we had to start out. Now Jacob was down 6-3 early in that first match. He was down by 3 games, but as far as starting a match, well, Ernesto got up 4-0, I think, in that early match also today. A little inspection of the rack just to make sure everything's copacetic. Hard not to go with the side rail break playing 9 ball on the big table. You got the wing ball, the 8, the 1 in the side.
Got that 8 ball.
And he's got a beautiful position on the 1 ball. The 2's over the corner. The 3 bounced up off the end rail. That makes things a lot easier. He should get a 2-game lead here. This is simple business here. Just 1 rail back to kind of where the cue ball's at now. Ish, somewhere around there. Yeah, that's perfect there. It gives him a nice angle to come up that clear left side of the table and get on the 3. The 5 goes in the side after he pockets the 4. Leads you easily to the 6, and you can see the 7's near, so just no miss, basically. Jacob, who kind of has a very similar arm motion, even though it's the other side of the cue stick with the lefty and all, but very similar to Dennis Okulo. The backhand's a little past perpendicular, no big deal, maybe a half an inch or so, but the back angle of the arm is very similar as well.
Not a bad player to model your form after, is it?
Yeah, you think? I don't know if it was on purpose. I mean, they're both smaller guys, right?
Yeah.
But very, very similar. You can see the arm angle back there a little bit. He's going to go to the corner, it looks like. Okay. Oh. Yeah, Dennis Aculo, one of the biggest and best talents we pool has ever seen. That's for sure. All right, pretty big reach here to get to the jump shot, way out in the middle of the table. Can he come from the right and reach it? Like over the side rail a little bit, kind of stretching. Maybe I'm getting fooled here, but man, that's a long ways out in the center of the table. All right, this is what I thought, coming over the table a little bit. Should make this. We'll see what he can do with the cue ball. Now, is the 7 going to get in the way of the pocket? No, he's all right. It was a big game for Jacob. He's going to have to kind of leave that behind. He had a chance to take a 2-game lead and a good one. Good chance. Really a perfect break shot. All right, should take the 9 in the corner. Shooting on the side, no way. Corner, yeah, got to be the corner.
And once again, we're all even here, 4-4.
Ernesto.
Semifinal round. Ernesto looks like he's starting to get up, moving around. Gonna hit some balls now. Jeremy, it's either going to be an all-Texas showdown in the championship, or it's going to be a little bit of a border battle, a little Arkansas-Texas border battle.
Yeah, Arkansas.
Share a little sliver of territory there, don't they, on the eastern side of the state?
Yeah, absolutely.
Texas.
And, Arkansas-Texas rivalry doesn't get talked about as much because, we really try to pick on Oklahoma. That's the one we really, that's the one that really kind of boils our blood a little bit, but... But maybe when them Horns and them Aggies move to the SEC here in a few years, yeah.
It's just what my Gators need is some Oklahoma and Texas added to the SEC.
It was Oklahoma. A&M's already there. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can.
Well, that 9-ball didn't move an inch there.
Yeah, and a really great break off. Is he going to get any kind of shot? No.
6.
But we're going to get what I always thought was the biggest and best rivalry in all of college sports, A&M and the Longhorns back on the schedule.
Yeah. All right, so he's got the 5 and the 7 off the table.
Yeah, and again, tough to roll out because, you really got to roll out to the bottom rail by this left corner, and let Jacob just edge the ball. And if he can run you safe, he can run you safe. He may not even take the shot. But you can't roll out to too much of the 1 ball or else you're not going to like it. And you can't roll out too close to the 1 ball either because, your incoming player would be very accurate trying to do some damage. Yeah, this is where he's looking now, the lower left. That's just a pretty common place to roll out to here. You're going to give up the left side of the 1. And if, like I said, Jacob is able to execute, he could possibly snooker you, but that's just part of it. I'd move the 2 the end rail maybe here. Just make things a little tougher. Okay. Jacob, earlier I watched him practice several shots in a row trying to edge the ball and run the cue ball safe. So we'll see if that pays off. Yeah, sweet hit. Didn't move the 1 much at all, and that's Pretty good eyes. Them young eyes there, Jason. Darn it.
I don't know. You happen to know how old Jacob is? I don't know.
No clue. I would guess
He's got to be
early
coming here now.
30s.
Yeah,
Early
he's been coming here
30s.
5-6 years at least.
Yeah.
Seen him out
I
in
don't
Vegas
think,
for
I'm
a
not
couple
sure.
times.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got him in a pickle here. Here with the 2 being backed up underneath the 9. I don't know if you can run the ball here. You might lose the 1, and what I mean by that is if he tries to hit the right side of the 1 and run the cue ball, he might bring the 1 down table with the cue ball. This is tough.
Well, Jacob's only 25 years old.
Wow.
He's got a lot of pool ahead of him, doesn't he? Oh.
Well, that's pretty unlucky there. Wow. Go 1 rail off straight into the side pocket. Made a pretty good hit. If he dodges that side, he probably gets behind the 2-9. Now, I'm surprised he's going to draw this ball. I would set up to follow this ball, I think, but it doesn't matter either way. But he could set up on the side rail and go, 1, 2, 3 rails dropping down for this 2 in the lower right. Is he going to come across between the 9-8? That's okay, but you got to be pretty accurate. If you catch the 8, you're dead meat. This is the shot I like right here. This is just like foolproof. The center of the table is very clear. You should get a good feeling to maybe bump off the 3rd rail, something like that. And it's pretty standard, things come up both ways, but it's pretty standard. When you have ball in hand, you should be trying to hit top English. Top English is just a friendlier way to shoot shots. And normally, where you're going with the cue ball is a little more in your peripheral. Now there it wasn't, but just imagine if you draw the ball with ball in hand, you're kind of drawn to something behind you usually, right? That's what draw English does. It comes backwards. This is going to be touchy. The 4 doesn't pass the 6, so you have to play a tough combo here, Jason?
That's what he's looking at.
Yeah, this is, of course, he made one earlier that was really, really nice and led to an early win in the 9 ball, I think, but looks a little off angle to me. Like he's cutting the 4 just a skosh, but it looks like the 4 will want to fall to the end rail after pocketing the 6 if he makes the 6. Speed's crucial, I think. Yeah, and that was all about wanting to hold the 4 up for shape. And it wasn't easy anyways.
Brings Lance Schofield back to the table here.
And Lance has played very aggressive for the most part, so played smart as well. He doesn't play aggressive in a bad way, but wonder if he takes this bank on or if he goes for the safety. The safety's pretty easy. Just putting the 4 down on the end rail, cue ball behind the 9. Looks like safety. He's going to catch the 9. No, he's all right. All right, Jacob, trying to get this up behind it. Now, the key is here. Don't worry about the 4 getting all the way down. You probably lose the cue ball. Yeah. That was tough. I don't think the 4 passes the 8, so he may draw into this ball a little bit, that being the 6. He's close enough to it, he can hit a pretty light draw shot. And see him kind of shorten the bridge, kind of pinch on the cue ball a little bit. That way he can hit it light and still have a little bit on the ball. That could have been better. Got a thin cut in the side. I don't think Lance has had a lead in this match.
This would be his first one. I was
Yeah.
just thinking the same thing. Jacob opened that 3-0 lead. Lance tied things up. Jacob pulled ahead. Lance tied things up. So, yeah, this would be his first lead of the match.
Yeah, we got him. That's for sure.
That's on us, right?
I'll put that one on you.
All right. Fair enough.
All right. All right, you don't have to draw back all the way to straight in. Of course, you can work the ball. Just don't make sure you don't draw past the 8 to where you're going the wrong way with the cue ball. It's still okay. He's in a spot on the 6 where it's impossible to get on the rail with the cue ball. Looking for his extension. I'm assuming, anyways. Looks like he may have put an entire different cue together just for this shot. That's not his normal playing cue, I don't believe, anyways.
Seeing if I had any information on what he plays with. Okay, he says I play with miscellaneous cues. My constant is anything Purple Heart. I have over 6 cues with it in it. You
Yeah.
familiar with a Purple Heart? I don't know
That's
what that is.
just a type of wood.
Okay.
You like the type of wood that some players
So-
like as far as the hit, you know. It's usually a little firmer hit.
8 in the side pocket for Jacob and a chance for him to regain the lead in this seesaw battle. What has become a seesaw battle, I should say.
Very.
Now 2 games away from the final for Jacob Watson. Lance Schofield still needing 3. One of those 2 will face Ernesto Baiawa in the championship round. Ernesto now hitting balls. Backside of strokers here.
Yeah, coming off a hill match there.
He had 2 hill matches today, didn't he, Ernesto?
Yeah,
A
2
hill
of them.
match this
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah, he's had
That's
3
good.
that I know of in the tournament,
What do we say? Iron sharpens iron, so
right?
see if that has prepared him. Ernesto be going for his 2nd U.S. Amateur Championship title, his first coming in 2011. Back at the old Strokers location. We were talking about that earlier today, Jeremy, back on the other side of the bay in Tampa proper area.
Yeah, I wonder how long that was open. And at
We
that,
were there. I know we were there, I want to say 3 years.
yeah,
So I don't know how long it was there, but
yeah. I kind of feel like I went to pretty much all the pool rooms back in the day here in Tampa, and I think I went to that one. Well, he's getting a good connection. Anytime the one's flying off the rack with that much speed, and you really don't see the guy trying to, break the cue in half and trying to really barrel into the rack, right? Well, that's a good timing, good connection on it.
yeah.
Kind of like when you hit a good golf shot, and
Yeah.
you're just like, oh, man, I barely swung, and it's just flying forever. Hit the sweet spot. Does he go for this? Tough shot. A little light. Jacob, he's funny. He'll always be the first to comment on his so-so shots, right? So I'm surprised he didn't at least entertain the cut shot there, just because he's a really good player and he stays aggressive and straight shooter. And it did go. And there was kind of natural position back and forth on the 2. Now this is thin. He'd love to get somewhere on the angle that the cue ball's on now. That way he can just come off the 1, 2 rails down here for the short side on the 3. But I don't think he can get to that position off this 1 ball. Yeah. Watch out,
Watch
cue
out.
ball.
Yeah, right in that pocket.
Yeah,
Ball
so-
in hand for Jacob.
Yeah, and Jacob should shoot this in that upper right-hand corner. And like I said, fall on the rail behind the 2 ball a little bit. Yeah, exactly, like right there-ish. That way you can naturally get on the 3 without having to play the 3-5 combo. Now, this is a little mistake in my mind, and it's one of those long-term mistake things, meaning when you want to get the speed right, he could have shot it in the other corner and rolled into that position. It's kind of the thing I brought up a minute ago. It's it's going to cost you if you do it 100 times. You'll see the benefit, right? But in this one instance format, and he's playing well, you may not see a problem. But if you consistently draw with ball in hand with the option to follow, it seems like follow gets the job done a little more often. Okay, not much to think about here, just kind of stun forward a little bit. It's such an easy shot on the 5, he can reach over the 6 a little, no problem. What I relate it to basically, Jason, are you going to be more accurate throwing a ball in front of you, or are you going to be one throwing a ball behind you? And that's the difference between following your cue ball versus drawing your cue ball. Well, here late in the match, he's had an opportunity to come up, and have a 2-game lead again, and a few things have gotten away from him. This is the spot to get it.
See if he can finish strong.
Yeah. All right, a little bit of left English maybe here. Maybe he just goes 1 rail. Okay, he came 2, so speed's crucial. Really nice. And it's funny that, the smaller man, right, that he doesn't play with an extension full time. He has a lot of shots to where he's a little stretched. Okay, stun draw here or kind of pinch draw back underneath you. It's kind of your choice. Depends on which pocket you want the 9. Kind of a stun draw.
Really gets that leg up there. You can tell he's stretched over a few pool tables over the years.
Yeah, that's a little a la Dennis Ocolo as well.
Pockets that 9 in the corner. Jacob Watson now on the hill needs just one big game to square off with Ernesto Bayala for this year's U.S. Amateur Championship. He will have the break.
And 2 guys that know each other's game very well. Played each other a lot there in Houston and all over Texas, and could be all Texas final, huh?
Well, I know that's got to excite you. You're a Lone Star guy through
Born
and
and
through,
raised,
aren't
that's
you?
right. Born and raised. Yep. The last 2 of us were born in Texas. The kids started in New York. My oldest 3 siblings were born in New York City, and that's where my mom's from. So
It's got to be quite the dramatic difference of accents in the house growing up, right?
yeah, definitely. My dad's from Pittsburgh area, so his wasn't quite as obvious to me, but my mom's accent was definitely obvious. But she started to lose it because
Once you're there,
a while, yeah. And they sure did, of course, miss New York, but they loved it down south.
Jacob looking over the rack.
Yeah, and he's broke the balls like Zeus. So I wouldn't change anything.
Generates a lot of power from that small frame, doesn't he?
Yeah, and like I said, it's a timing thing, So gets through the cue ball pretty well. Good square hit on the 1. And again, watch for the corner ball, the 6, but watch how hot the 1 is off the rack. That's from a flush hit. He's not cutting the 1, really. Yeah, no. I don't see anything down just yet. Corner ball, a little off that time, but nothing too great here for Lance. He's going to have to grind out some games. And what's that 4-9 look like here? Maybe the 5's got it covered up, but it's close, the 4-9. We'll see it in a moment. Oof. It's a good camera view there. I'll tell you what, it looks pretty makeable. So they're going to battle for this first shot on the 1, and then I really think we're going to see an early winner unless something gets disrupted here on the 4-9. I'd have to cut the 1 on the right side. Go between the 2-6 to the short rail, side rail, and kind of run the cue ball here. Try and get the 1 to the back rail. He's a little elevated, so that's always makes things a little tougher, right? But he's hitting the left side of the 1, so I don't know where he's going with the cue ball here. Behind the 2, maybe? Maybe banking the 1 into the... All right, just bringing it down. Watch out. If that's a little hot, that might get up on that 4-9. Oh, boy.
He's looking all over that.
Yeah. And it's got to be close to me. I mean, and the key to this one, you don't want it to throw much. So unless it's aimed a little high, you want to hit this with a lot of speed. The softer you hit it, if you mishit the 1 onto the 4 a little bit, the ball could throw a little bit downward towards the bottom rail. So I elevate here, like that, and I warp this one in. You can hear the pocket. Watch. There you go.
Wow. 1-4-9 combo for the win for Jacob Watson. What a way to end that match, and punches his ticket to the championship to face Ernesto Bayala.
And a round of applause to Lance Schofield. I really enjoyed watching him play and finding more really, really good local players, meaning around Texas, not in Texas, but around it.
Yeah, that's a strong finish in this year's U.S. Amateur Championship for him. Finishes in 3rd place. Folks, we'll be back in just a little bit with our championship match featuring Ernesto Bayala and Jacob Watson, race to 11. Come back and join us. See you in a few.